Very good. Namaste, everybody.
Hi, Mooji.
Namaste.
Very good. Very good. You can hear me fine?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Very good. Well.
We are very glad to meet you here.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Same, Gita Sri. Very good. Nice group you have there. Now, everybody understand English, or we need to translate, or what?
Everybody understands English, and if translation will be needed during a dialogue with you, it will be provided. Translation. We will have translation if needed.
Okay, very good. Very, very good. I'm very happy for that. Okay. Lovely to see you again. Very good. And everyone here is familiar with our topic, no? Or not? Some people are new?
I don't know. Yes, everybody is familiar. No? We have new people also.
Yeah, okay, some new ones. That's good. Very good. Well, as you know, Dan, I'm not really, I'm rarely starting by making some speech or something. I don't have anything like this. I'm never, making speeches. I'm not good at that. But to directly be engaged in for exploring into the nature of truth and having the direct experience also, confirmed experience, this is the most important thing. But for the people who are perhaps coming for the first time, what can we say? The subject is very simple, and we can start like that. That what we are exploring here today, as in other times, is the true nature of ourself. And this is a subject that is rarely explored in real depth. And by real depth, I mean discussed and explored to the point where it becomes unavoidable to recognize the truth. This is what the satsang, the intention of the satsang, the aim of the satsang is like that. Not merely to discuss. I'm not interested in merely discussing this topic, because I'm sure many people are familiar with just discussing for the sake of, there's a kind of joy in discussing it. But when we are really open to the possibility of full recognition of the truth, sometimes fears come, resistance come, distractions come. And it becomes clear that there is some force internally that seems to function to keep our attention only upon our physical existence, our domestic existence, really. And as we go more deeper, to go behind the curtains of the mind and the conditioned mind and so on, then we are in a field that seems quite unknown initially, because the mind is still there, you see. But soon, if you persist, you will come into a space which is, I would say, more intimate than familiar. Not just familiar, but where you are completely at peace, and your questions, your doubts begin to fall away. This is what will happen, I say like this, to each one who is exploring with an openness, and I say sometimes with a feeling of yes, I want to continue. I want to go more deeply. I'm open up to this possibility. Then everything becomes very easy, or increasingly easy. You see? Resistances will come, though. For everyone it will come. Doubts will come. Fears will come. You see, the urge to run away will come. And perhaps this is why there seems to be so few Buddhas and other awakened beings or so. Because all are this, completely, without any doubt. That truth is what we are. I say that this truth is what we are because anything other than this truth is only coming and going. But this is our stable reality. And amazingly, it seems very few people come to that complete recognition. And I don't see why it should be like that. You see, so today we'll see how far we can go. Yeah. I'm sure some people there, many people there must have some questions. Some may even get answered without you directly coming up personally, but we will see about that.
Thank you, Mooji. I will let the space empty for the questioners.
Very good, thank you.
Hi, Mooji.
Okay.
I'm very happy to talk with you directly.
Thank you.
Before my report, may I make a small introduction, please?
Yes, go ahead, please.
So, few years ago, I was looking for explanations of the nature of enlightenment, right?
Of the nature of enlightenment, you said?
Yes.
Okay, alright, go ahead.
Watching on the internet a lot of satsang with Papaji, Jiddu Krishnamurti, Eckhart Tolle, and so on. And then, one day, out of absolutely nowhere, you came. And you hit me like a train. Believe me, you touched me somewhere very deep, very profound, like nothing else. And since then it looks like you are every step with me. I don't know how, but I feel this. And for this, please accept my deepest gratitude, Mooji. Thank you so much.
Okay, very good.
Thank you. Okay. And now my report. As far as I can see, there are two different states, right? One is made of absolutely peaceful joy, with no contraction inside, no friction. Even the intuition of I am is completely merged with what it is.
Yes.
So it's absolutely perfect. But it's also a second state where the person comes back, right? And the me comes back, the doer comes back, and it comes back with desire, likings, not likings, and you know perfectly.
Yes.
So I feel like I am a pendulum between these two states. It's not stable. Like I'm here and here and here and here. So basically, this is my report. I wonder if somehow it will stabilize someday, because something inside wants to be only in the first state.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Okay. It's like you are as you are now, and you feel in yourself, this is my stable being, this is just how I am, this is my natural state. And then somehow you take some drugs or some alcohol, okay? And then another effect come, another state come. But you're still yourself. Isn't it? You're still yourself, but I'm not quite myself.
But it's seductive. Something seductive comes.
Yeah.
From outside. And
something seductive, you say, come. And now that energy, that presence, that behavior is now playing inside the same instrument, is there. There's awareness of this or not?
Yes, it is, of course.
Yeah, there's awareness of this, but also there's strong sort of identifications taking place.
Yes.
Awareness of this also or not?
Also of this.
Yes. Yeah. Where is the awareness of this arising from?
It just
let's slow down, because I don't want you to discuss it in a kind of abstract way, but more that you're speaking from that place now. If the mind came in, will you be speaking from that place or from another place? I have a few things to talk about this, so I'm just exploring a little bit with you on this. You quite rightly say, and those who have experienced will, of course, they will agree with you, that the first state, as you call, what was interesting, you say, there's a state which is known as the self. You know, anyone listening to what you say, they'll say, yes, that is the self. That is the perfect nature. Then you say, then there's the state of identification when the person comes back, and with all its idiosyncrasies, all its strangenesses is going on, and I seem to be rocking between those two states. You see? So this I is a third state or what? The one that moves between the two states? Or is it really like that? Because where could you be looking from that is higher than the pure awareness you're talking about? If you say awareness is one state, okay, of course in itself, it is not conceiving itself as a state, it's just your natural being. Then you say, of course, the identification arises, the sense of personality comes, sort of personhood comes, and there's an awareness of this. Actually, if you are in the position of watching the person energy coming in, you're watching this, then you have to for a while be really firm in your observing position to confirm, but this is also just phenomenal. At what stage do you say that it kind of takes over? Does it take over the person? Does it take over, or what is it?
No, the me comes, and
yes,
it's seen, it's observed that it's seductive, but somehow.
Who is seduced by it? Slow down, slow down. It is seductive. Who gets seduced? Just bring that question deeper in. Don't just leave it in the mind. Don't answer just from the mind. Just try and identify what is it that gets seduced.
I don't know.
And what watches this seduction?
I don't know.
Don't just give me the answer in words now. Contemplate a little bit. Even the seduction, the sense of pull, occurs inside the awareness itself. Some power that is part of awareness, it's inherent in awareness, the power to give attention to something, to believe in, and to identify. These are root powers that they arise from the awareness itself, and they contact or they connect up with the idea of the person also. All this is watchable. But as each one contacts the person idea, the sense of observing it becomes weaker and weaker. Because then somehow you have the full sense that I am the one who is identified. Even though you may be able to say, I'm observing that, But now the alcohol is taking effect. And now you're speaking from the alcohol state. You see? Now, it is possible to be speaking from the alcohol state, something is there, inside the greater knowing that this is also just a state, it's also a condition. And don't say in your mind, don't say, okay, now I've lost what I am. No, this is occurring in what I am also. A slight change of perspective can make a huge difference. A slight change of perspective, because if you say, wow, I've lost my peaceful state, then it will be registering inside that that's something lost. Now I have to get back to that. All these are unnecessary concepts that you are embracing. This is just the state of the sense of personhood. Somehow it's there just in the same way that you could be having an operation and your body is under this, you're under this, the effects of the anesthetic, and you're coming out and you feel a bit like this, wobbly, but still there's an awareness of this. You don't have to say, but I am not myself. You can say that, but from the place of awareness there's a deeper understanding that this is something that is also is going to pass. It's only phenomenal. It will pass also. And there's not even a need to get into waiting for it to pass. Because if you say, I'm waiting for this effect to pass, then in a way you put yourself into a kind of condition. If you just stay as the awareness as much as possible, stay in this, then the feeling of drifting into the personhood state will feel less significant for you. You see, this is a big difference, in fact, because the one who is awake simply ignores these dualities. They say, no, it's okay. Anything can take care in this body. And I tell you what will happen as you take this attitude that, okay, somehow the strength of identification is still arising, and I ask you the question, for whom is it arising? Who gets, who loses their way? Really go into this person, see if you can identify that which feels, now I've lost, or I've lost the awareness, or now I am in something, which is for me only an idea. But something is given this idea more credibility. And so it changes the quality of that phenomenon and make it something deeply significant. And it is not so significant. It is you who determine whether it is significant or not. If you stay as the awareness, this is what I want to tell you, if you stay only in the place of that awareness knowing, then this tendency to go into identification will just drop away. It has to. It becomes secondary. It becomes secondary. It thins away. It doesn't mean anything at all. It will take a little time to do that because the habit has been to give too much importance to this. So like a reflex, the attention again steps into the position of personhood, and then you will start to say, wow, I want to get out of this state and so on, and then you're multiplying concepts in that state. But the awareness itself, it's not, it's so totally untouched by anything in this world. Anything that arises in the body-mind functioning does not affect the awareness at all. You see? But the sense, the I belief, the I concept is still there. And things are happening to the high concept, not to the awareness itself. Just like it's daytime now, in the night you see the stars. They are now still there in the sky, but you can't see them. You see? But you know it's there. Now the knowing of awareness is not even like that. It's even more profound than this. Not that you're knowing awareness as one thing knowing another. Because without the light of awareness, you couldn't be saying these things even. Even illusions and delusions could not be without awareness. You say, I want to be more in the stable state and less in the unstable state. But eventually, even those words are going to fall away. as you become more clear that you can only be the awareness which doesn't fluctuate, doesn't change, but the sense of the person seems to come and go, and it's watched to come and go, then you say, ah, it's okay. He's my neighbor, you know, he's making noise again, don't worry. Please say something more. Try and clear it up as much as you can.
I'm just listening. Nothing to say.
Yes, yeah. The effects of the body-mind, so personality or person, is going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. And this can happen very quickly, actually, where it has nothing to offer. It has nothing to offer awareness anyway. It only has something apparently to offer to the kind of the identity that is shaped out of consciousness, the sense I. This is actually the most important factor, is what is the I when you speak I, when you say I, in what position is this I functioning from? Either from the person or from the sense of being, the sense of presence, or even from the place of awareness. The sense I am and I can speak also from the place to represent the pure, absolute awareness also. It cannot speak it directly, but it will use the consciousness to facilitate saying this thing. So when you say I, if anybody can watch where the I is, what it is representing, already I'll tell you, it's not an easy thing to do in the beginning, but it will be the only thing you need to do if you understand what I is. Watch it. So it doesn't, because it is like a shapeshifter. 1 minute it's functioning like a person, next again you're back in a place of awareness, not often for most people. Very often, although even without practice, even the regular person on the street, their ego identity has to land a little bit in the state of presence. It has to take oxygen from the state of presence, but they're not conscious of it. And there are some who are more even in the state of presence. That's their residence. And then as you spoke, and you started to speak by speaking about the absolute state. And this is not from books you're talking, is it? Or from what? Your experience?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if it's from your experience,
Yes.
then this trip will be finished very soon. If you follow what I'm speaking now. That from the place of the awareness, somehow there's still energy in the identity, is still coming up. You see, but it's just like bubbles in the ocean. The ocean is not going to be disturbed by the bubbles or the waves. You see, but something is saying these waves should not be there. And the ocean is saying these waves should not be on top of my head. You see? Whereas the true ocean doesn't mind. The waves are part of ocean also. But in this ocean awareness I'm speaking, the more you are just aware that you can only be awareness, then the importance of the movement of waves and thoughts and motion and identity will just dry up. Won't have anything, won't mean anything for you. A little bit will be there, because you have a body, the vital force is there, consciousness is there. So don't expect anything too clinical. There'll be some mosquitoes will be there. You understand?
Yes.
But they won't trouble you. Not like that. They won't trouble you. These mosquitoes, they won't give you pneumonia or nothing like that. These mosquitoes. That's a little bit. Yeah. Now you just made a gesture, you went like this, like this. What does it mean?
What it is, it is.
Say again?
What it is, it is.
Okay, very good. And you are what?
Sorry?
And you? What is?
Yes.
What is? Yes. And you?
I am.
You are what?
I don't know. I really don't know. I speak from
Because
my
you
heart.
said
I don't know.
you with such firmness. What is. What it is. And I ask you, and you says, I am. And I says, I am what? He says, I don't know. But you know what is. Is it different for you? You're not what is? The answer can also be, I don't know what is. But what is, I don't know, I cannot speak because I cannot describe that. And I cannot describe what I am. They seem to be one. You said with your words, you see, before. Okay. Very happy to talk with you.
Hello, Mooji.
Hi.
My name is Elena.
Elena, okay.
I'm new here actually. And first of all, I wanted to thank you for everything you do. And I love you.
Oh, love you too.
Well, actually, I'm very nervous. My question is related to trust, confidence, and about fear. I don't know where this comes from. I try all the time to look about my thoughts, but when an important negative thoughts come, my mind is just crazy, and I don't know exactly how to put the question, but...
Well, there's an easy answer and a complex answer. Which one you want?
Which one you think I need?
I know which one I'd like to share with you. Of course, your question is similar to what 6-7 billion people would probably bring a similar kind of question like you've just presented, no? Because there is such a deep conviction that we are our conditioning, that we are this person living in this body. This is the mindset of a human being normally. I'm here, you see, my name is Elena, I live here. If you see this body, is my address. I'm probably quite likely there. So this is our feeling, and we speak from this place of a natural sense of I, which arises inside, natural feeling of awareness of one's own self, which we refer to as really the body-mind, and the education, the conditioning, the belief systems and so on. We call this a person who dwells in this body. So actually it is true up to a point, but it's only relatively true. There's a greater truth to know. And if you come to know this greater truth, these problems that you're talking about, it will not be there. But while you have the sense that you are this person, this is where you're from, this is your, I'm a woman, I've studied in this place, and you can write so many things about you, then it's very likely that such kind of problems or challenges or doubts and so on, they will accompany our existence for a while until we come to realize the full truth of ourselves. And it is good that everyone suffers somehow from ignorance of the self. Because with this suffering comes an aspiration, a desire to find what does not suffer. Is it possible that a human being can discover a life which is free of suffering, free of fear? We use also the word confidence and trust naturally, and who is naturally happy even without a reason, and who is free. Yes, 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 yes. All this is possible. And also, it is not something that you need to create also. It's only about the discovery, and also this discovery, there are some things that seem to stand in the way of this discovery. An attachment to the idea we have of who we are gets in the way of this simple discovery. We want to be who we think we are. And that does not allow us to discover the full truth of who we are. We want what we call liberation, but you want it as a person. But liberation is from the person, not for the person, in a sense, you see. Now, it might seem, oh my gosh, I don't know, I'm feeling a bit lost, or it seemed a bit scary, because how can I give up my sense of person? It feels like to step into an unknown, and who would want that, you see? But actually, there is a lot of myth about the unknown. You understand what I said just now? There's a lot of myth surrounding this concept of the unknown, like it's like a black hole or something like that. But what I want to tell you is that your true self is already the unknown and the unknowable, meaning that you cannot know it with your mind like you study an object, because it is not an object. You see, the idea we have of who we are is a kind of object, but who we truly are is not an object. And it is such a beautiful discovery. It may not sound beautiful when you listen to it, because you think, my God, but if I'm not an object, maybe I don't know if I'm attracted to the idea of not being something solid or something. So the mind puts all these ideas in front. But actually, you are already the unknowable, meaning that so vast is your being that no one can comprehend, actually. It is so pure and perfect. And I want to tell you something, actually. You don't even have to exchange what you have understood in life. You don't have to give up your friends. You don't have to leave your family. You don't have to live naked in some cave. None of these things you have to do, actually. Because it was never about that. It's not that, oh, my life is going to look very different. But your life will be seen from a different place. This is what it means, the unknown. So that suddenly you're going to, of course, in some cases, the impact of recognizing the truth made a big change in some people's lives. And it may do in yours also, I cannot say. But it's not that those changes are necessary or something for everybody. Maybe you can realize the truth completely, and maybe your life will outwardly look the same, but it will inwardly, it will be a vast difference. You will not have fear, and you will not be mistrusting, and you will not lose your mind in the way that the mind thinks. As if you lose your mind, it's kind of madness. But when I say you lose your mind, it's a kind of sanity. See, this is the difference. You're going to relearn a lot of things, beautifully, actually. So coming up to my easy answer, is you just need to discover the truth, which we can start doing now also. Because you speak now, you say about confidence, I'm lacking in trust and so on. If I told you you're not this one that you're speaking about, would you not want to find out who you really are?
Yes.
You're the one who is aware, even of your speaking, what you've shared, even right now, while you seem to be sitting here looking at me on the screen, there's a watching of this inside you, which is not belonging to anybody, which has no problem at all inside. It has no name like Eleanor or anything like this. It's a space of pure being, but there's a pure intelligence there, but it cannot be described where you're looking from. But actually, to talk to me today about the things, you had to dip into memory. You're looking at memory and an idea you have of who you are, and you're speaking about this idea. You're talking with me about the idea you have of who you are. Now, if you drop this idea for the moment, just leave it aside for the moment. Okay, just leave this idea or any other idea for a moment. Just you're here. And you're here, and as leave every intention aside for a moment. Just you're here. You're just here. Forget what you're here for. Okay? Just only be that you're here. Leave everything aside for a moment. Because normally we are associating with something, some thought, an intention, a friend, something from the past, something for the future. Don't engage with anything for a moment. This you can do easily now. You're aware of them, but you're not holding on to them. That even if they're holding on to you, you're not holding on to them. This is freedom. See, the whole world can hold on to me, but I'm not holding on to anything. That you leave everything aside for now, just one moment, be entirely empty and without any association. Just be aware of this now. Don't create and don't imagine. That's already going too far. Just you leave everything, stay in this space that you cannot describe.
It's extended,
Yes.
it's everything.
Yes. This everythingness, where was it all this time? All throughout your life, where was this everythingness that you are aware of now?
In me.
Huh?
In me.
In you. Yes. And you are what? Don't think.
You got me. Nothing.
Nothing. Feel that now. Feel what your words have just said. It's not something that your mind would have said. Does it hurt to discover this?
No.
No.
Thank you.
And it's, you see, this what you are now, and you are not believing this. You're simply one with the experience of this. When you're speaking with me, I am this that you are now. You are this. You see? The idea of self as a private person, it will come again, and expect it also. So you won't be shocked, okay? Because for a long time, the habit of thinking of yourself as a person has been functioning. So it will come, and it will go. It will rise and fall, like everything else is coming and going. But this is this coming and going. That which you are aware of now, when you're not combining yourself with anything in this nothingness that you speak about. If you had to send an email to someone, would you be able to send it now or not? Yes. Your senses are functioning perfectly fine. They don't interfere with this. You can have a conversation with someone, and it will take place in this. The background is this. Just like sometimes I say, you may have like a fever. You have a fever like you're catching a cold. You may have a fever for a week. And so for a whole week, everything you do will take place in this fever condition. When you drink, when you walk, when you're on the telephone, when you're with your friends, it's still taking place in this fever state. In the same way, everything is taking place in this awareness that I've just pointed out and you have seen. You are that. You don't have to talk about it. But if you stay aware of this, and it will take, I'm saying like this because it will take a little bit of effort to just, the effort is not to stay as the awareness, the effort is to not go with your mind. Because your mind wants to say, okay, you've seen that now, come and play. So we have things to do, important things. Or come back to reality, this type of talk. But you have to hear these things, but hear them with some detachment also. Just stay present as the awareness itself. It will become easier and easier. Would you like to continue to be in this way? Yeah. So for a while, you are going to experience little struggle because your mind wants you to not go there. For a while. They want to take you to lots of places, lots of nightclubs. Okay? But you are aware of that, and you stay only here. Not because you're afraid, but simply because you are using your power in a very beautiful way. You stay like this. It will struggle. It will try and find weaknesses. But those weaknesses is only when you identify yourself as a body-mind or as a person. The mind has lots of traps for you as a person. But if you stay as this consciousness itself, it cannot touch you. So in a funny way, the mind is going to help you. But you have to be conscious of this. Because every time you go to the body-mind, it's going to bite you. It's going to try and keep you in that domestic mind. You have to kind of stay only as the awareness. You cannot come there. And I would really like to talk with you again. Gita Shri will show you how. But if you want to stay in this, then I will make some time for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I love you. Thank you.
Hello. Mooji.
Hello.
I'm very glad to be here with you, and I thank you that you are here with us now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just give me some time, you know, my heart is like going crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, earlier, the person before me said that, you know, who am I? And he also says, what is, you know? And my question is, am I what it is? If I am what it is, then is that an identification with what it is? You know?
It will only be an identification if you remain with the idea that you are something apart from that. Then there's something which is apart from that. We'll have to try and identify with that. And that's also a path, you know. It's also because consciousness is responsible for all of this stuff, even the trash. And, you know, in a sense, there is also a path where you say, I am that consciousness. I am that. But it is a kind of belief rather than it is a confirmation. It is like affirming, yes, I am that. But it has to be followed through with an introspection to confirm that I am that. So that belief becomes confirmed and verified by you. That's one way. That if you are already able to say, but I just know I am, and I cannot give that I am feeling to anything in the world that I can see. I cannot give the feeling I am to anything that I can see in the world. Like, it doesn't fit anything. I cannot say, you know, I am my house, or I am my family, or I am Romanian. You can say this, of course, no? But this innermost being cannot say I am my nationality, I'm a man. You move me, because all these is to do with the body, which is fine. The body is also perfectly a part of the whole thing, you know. It is the instrument that allows consciousness to experience diversity, or to have experience. So it is part of it, no? But it is not a definition of the being, and it's not the being itself. It's more that the body belongs to the being more than the being belongs to the body. You see? It's a harmony there. Yeah. So, if you are able to see that everything that I can perceive, everything that I see, experience, or taste it somehow, everything is past. Everything is past. Every thought, they come and they recede, they pass. And they are watched also. I watch them passing. I watch them coming, I watch them passing. Just like you feel sometimes you're having a little sore throat is coming. And you're aware of that subtle feeling. And then it gets more strong, and you watch it, this very strong feeling of soreness in the throat, but you know you're not that. And also you watch it also passing, and you know you cannot be that. You're the witness from the arising, the first arising, the duration of that, and the subsiding of that. All of that you watch. So you cannot be anything that you can perceive in that way. The watching is much more subtle. The things that are watched can also be subtle, but they cannot be as subtle as that which watches them. Now, if you have understood that, sometimes, just about now, I would ask you, if you are able to see that everything in your world, I say in your world because each of us have a world, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We have a very good world, that everything in your world is as you perceived it. It is something that you approve of. I like this, I don't like that, this is good, this is bad, or something. That's how it becomes part of your unique world, so to speak. If you see that everything has been perceived in you and by yourself, you're the seer of it. They don't witness themselves. I gave the illustration that I'm looking at my hand is not looking at me. So if you come to see that, wait a minute, everything is as is perceived by myself. I am the watcher of it. Then I ask you, can this watcher also be watched? It's a very important question.
Yes, I know, and I've been dealing with that, you know, the watcher being watched. I don't know if I know that question, right? If I know the answer to that, can the watcher be watched? I guess
Experience than an answer.
the watcher,
Yes.
can watch itself being watched.
Don't go too far with that. What I'm saying is that which is watching everything else, okay, is it itself an object? Because if it is an object, then it certainly can be watched. Everything else effectively appear as an object in your field of perceiving. But you who perceive them, or that which perceives them, when I ask, can that also be perceived, you see? Then for a while it does a strange thing in your mind. You know, oh my God, what is this? Whoa, whoa, whoa. But gradually something begins to just catch a little bit, and the question becomes appealing to you. If it's appealing to you, follow it, follow that vibration, and it's going to become more and more clear for you. Because always when you feel the sense I, it is always in the position of the watcher, not the watched.
Yes.
If you feel I can be watched, by what can it be watched, you see? You'd have to be, again, something would slip into the most prior place to watch even the feeling I. And that's possible. Can I be watched? You see?
Yes.
Yeah. The feeling I, the sense I am, the sense of myself is also watched. Then I ask, what watches this? And this question for me, because it's so important, I won't accept it merely conceptually. You understand?
Yes.
I will really feel from you that you have grasped it, you see. Because if you grasp this, I don't think you're going to have any more questions. So that is the potency of that question. Because as long as you are functioning as a person, you are going to have questions.
Yes, absolutely.
The fact is you're just a person. You can say, I'm a person as well. But you're not just a person. There's a greater space behind the person. Person is only one face, an aspect of consciousness.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if I might add another thing, is my physiological age? I'm 16 years old. You know.
Yeah.
Does it somehow
Gets in the way?
Yeah, yes, get in the way of my spiritual path, or
No.
no, not at all. So they're not.
There have been some sages that were 7 years old.
Yes.
They were sages 7 years old who were having conversations with great learned pundits and defeating them with wisdom, with clarity and insight. The age is not, it may be on your side actually. You see? Because you can say, generally speaking, on another level, a more superficial level, we say young people, they have a certain kind of energy, an energy field of youth. Like you've got to go through this kind of youth vibration for a while, and you're not stable. Your mind will be jumping about, you'll be, falling in love with lots of people and running about and growing spots and all that stuff. And then, then they say, no, this is not maybe the best time. I said, no, it's nonsense. Some people are going to come and you are going to discover things in your life more than your parents discover.
My mother is behind me, so.
Oh, well, you may be an exception. Then. But generally speaking, it is rare that you find that sometimes couples are coming together to satsang, or people are coming with their children or are coming with their parents. It's so rare. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing to see, you know, because you naturally have love for each other, and if that love is turned towards also the discovery of truth, my gosh, I mean, you are so fortunate. So rare, you see. Many times young people, they are attending satsang, and even their loved ones are trying to put them off coming to
yes,
satsang.
it can happen.
You see that? It's,
Yeah.
So you are very, very fortunate to have a mother who is with you in satsang. This is very good.
I know.
Mm.
I have my deepest thanks for you sharing with me, you know, and I hope we can meet again, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Follow this question that you've started. Don't be afraid. You
Yes.
carry on with this question.
Yes.
Then you can, next time I speak with you, then I'll be very interested to see what you discover.
okay.
When I say that, you know, this sense eye that is looking out through these eyes to the world outside, and also looking this inside of the eyes at the world of feelings and emotions and so on, and almost like both the outside and the inside, it can see both outside and inside. That which is able to do that, that is beyond the definitions of that human beings